Oh, hey guys, how you doing? I don't think you're gonna guess where we are today. We are back in New Brunswick. It's been about 10 months, some change, and we are back in St. Andrews by the Bay. It's a beautiful day out. We're gonna grab something to eat, do some walking, do some exploring, and just have a good old time. So why don't you join me? And yeah, we'll see what this is all about today. It is absolutely picture perfect weather. I don't know if you can tell, but straight ahead is the lighthouse. We'll check that out later. Maybe the deer will be hanging out there again for us to check out. That is Navy Island, if memory serves, directly in front of us. And then here's just the river. Got your kettle corn place over here, bunch of whale spots. And I would say we're in the mood for whale watching, but to be honest, I just want some nice fish chowder today, and an adult beverage of choice, because it's 70 degrees or 21 degrees Celsius, and it's just, it's a perfect day just to sit out. So we're going to check out the Kennedy House, and then we'll check into our room, and yeah, good times. It's exciting how more lively it is. You can tell that we're now finally in like nicer weather. It's interesting though, like we're not even at the heart of tourist season yet, but it's nice to just see people enjoying their meals, hustle and bustle. All right, so here's the Kennedy Inn, and this is where we're gonna eat, right here. So I ordered a Peroni Zero. So it's a non-alcoholic Peroni. Never had one before. We'll see how that goes. It'll get me ready for my journey to Morocco. That's right. We're going back. Going back later this summer. So we're going to try that stuff now. So we, as I said, are at the Kennedy in 1881. This is one of the oldest summer inns or summer hotels in all of Canada. So I don't think the restaurant was here, but at least we're at the building. It tastes similar. It doesn't have the same pop, meaning like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. If it was a hotter day, it would work. I think I know what's missing that would make it taste better. The alcohol. Yeah, the alcohol. Doesn't this look beautiful? Here's your lobster. Other yummy stuff. This is why we're here. Alright, first bite. This is great. You can taste all the different seafood in it, the haddock, the lobster, whatever else they've added. Delicious. Well, we're leaving now from our meal. I noticed as I was eating my chowder, not only did they have the lobster and I guess the haddock, but they put shrimp in there and scallops. It was really good. And now, so many options. All right, I made a decision. We're going to check out the lighthouse real quick, relatively speaking, because I have to walk to it. It's not that far, though. But we're going to go down, and then I was looking at a map in front of the town hall, and there's a couple spots that we didn't hit the last time we were here that I think would be enjoyable to check out. And now we're just kind of walking a little bit away from that Main Street hustle and bustle, closer to the deer, that if I don't see them this trip, I will be devastated. Like, huge tears. Oh my God. I think that Domenica must be with me, because I found her sign. Look at this right here. Look at this beautiful calling. Anyone up for some Aperol Spritz? At the Brewhaven. Whoops, I just knocked over their sign because I'm a... Okay. I remember the classic car, but yeah, this is a beautiful establishment. Look at this. Look at this car. It's beautiful. Awesome. So we're actually staying on this street right here, on the Princess Royal Street. And we'll figure that out on the way back. Being here, just like the last time I was here, it reminds me, it's kind of like a combination of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We'll just call it Seacoast, New Hampshire, but without all the craziness, without all the Massachusetts people coming up. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But it's just a very serene spot to visit. And, you know, it's a loyalist stronghold, too. It's important to stress that. If you didn't see my first video exploring St. Andrews, yeah, this is where, after during the war, those that were loyal to the UK settled up here. They founded this because they didn't want to stay on the coast of, well, it would have been the coast of Massachusetts at the time because it wasn't yet Maine. But when they left and fled to here, this is where everyone loyal to the king went. It's also why, if you roam these streets, what you'll see is you'll see King Street, you'll see Mary Street, William. I think there's also like an Edward Street. I mean, it's pretty clear. Except for here, which is Ernest Street. But maybe that's about the importance of being earnest. Although, wasn't he Irish? Oscar Wilde? I think so. So, this van just drove by me. Almost hit me. Because it was like taking up, like I'm actually had to walk on the grass so it wouldn't run me over. But it was funny because it looked pretty run down. And then on the back it says Jesus saves, and I'm like, Jesus saves? You almost hit me. So who's doing the saving? There was a joke in there, didn't really work. But anyway. We are almost to the lighthouse. It's covered up. Look at these houses. Look at this view. It's so beautiful and it's so quiet. I think that's the thing that gets me the most as I ramble on to you guys, is in this part of Canada and then actually in Maine right across the way. It's just silence. It's so cool. I was thinking to myself, I was going to share this. So when I was cutting through the border patrol this time on this trip, last year when I came across, I had a partner in crime with me to go across, if you will, for lack of better terms. A ball and chain. Not really a real ball or chain, but you get the idea. Anyway, the guy didn't ask us like any questions. He's like, where are you going? We're like, we're going to stop. We're going here and then to Prince Edward Island. And the guy's like, okay, waved us on. Instead, today, the Border Patrol lady, she was like, where are you coming from? I'm like, Maine, which is where we were. And so what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. She's like, are you going to meet some people? I'm like, no. I'm like, just, so she's like, well, what are you going to do? And I'm like, just going to walk around. She's like, okay. And she like paused. I was like, is there something wrong with just going for a drive? Anyway, I got in, but still, it seemed weird. right, well, we made it. Looks like part of the fence got destroyed. If you need a reason to go on a trip somewhere, looking for some rest and relaxation, this is a good spot. Look at the sailboat right here. I zoomed by it maybe. There she is. The Passamaquoddy, the natives, the First Nation, this was all theirs. This is the proving grounds, if you will. This is where they would travel and fish and hunt. So yeah. $18.33. One of the things I missed last year when I was living in Poland, but now being here I can enjoy it, is this. These are, you know, it's funny. I always confuse these between lilac and lavender, but the point is, I love walking by this and just taking in like that smell, that whiff, and I wish it would translate onto the video for y'all, because it's one of my, you know, between that and the lupine. But just the fresh flowers after the dreary wintertime, like, and the colors, I think it's a maple. See the red? Yeah. This is what many people in this region look forward to after a cloudy winter. So can someone put in the comments what this is? Lilac, lavender, which one is it? There's a lady back there who, she said to me, you should just grab some, because literally I was standing underneath it and I was just taking like a nice long smell. And she's like, you should grab some, like I did. She's got like a bouquet of them in her hand, and I'm like thinking, I'm not gonna rip that off of, that's like an inn's tree. Well, I would, but not with a camera out. So we are heading to Prince of Wales, remember the references I told you about, to Cemetery Road. There's an old cemetery here. I know nothing about it, except it just said that it was the rural cemetery, and it happens to be near the lookout for Minister's Island. So that's where we're gonna go. And just like my part of the world, they have yard sales here. And saw people out working on their lawns. Kingsbrae is to the right. That's one of the top-rated gardens in all of Canada. And right to our left right here is a cemetery where I stumbled across a family of deer last summer. And as you can see from me just kind of driving right now, it's pretty quiet. William Street. So that's interesting. William Street, Prince of Wales Street. Isn't William the Prince of Wales now? Last time I checked. Look at this house right here. So this is part of Kingsbrae. Let's see if it comes out. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then here's the, I want to call it the Algonac, but I don't remember the name exactly, but this is one of their major like resort hotels here. Sorry, it's the Algonquin. I'm sure someone, well, it's not like you can tell me how to pronounce it. You can just yell at the vlog, and maybe through osmosis I will learn how to pronounce it correctly. Just so you know, these gates were erected by the women in this town back in 1880. And now we're walking through the pearly gates into this cemetery right here, which looks a bit sparse. Guess that's a good thing. As you heard me chirping about the car, there's not really any parking. But then again, I assume this road is open once in a while. It's interesting. I'm comparing it to, if you've seen the second Morocco video I made and looked at the Jewish cemetery that we explored, you'd see the contrast between how the graves were. Granted, this is a lot more space, but it's interesting because the years of people being buried kind of correspond pretty close for at least a part of this. So to see such a contrast to me is fascinating. But then again, you know, different parts of the world. Note here, everyone's buried in the ground, and I don't think flooding is a concern. And a lot of space between the plots. Got Rogers and Stores and Johnson's, Maxwell. Now I don't know if you can see it, but directly through the shrubs, trees right here, you can see the water. So it's really an ideal spot. Huh, another cockburn. Or is it cokeburn? I don't know. What I was trying to do, and we'll go this way for a moment, it's probably someone's yard is what it is. There's a trail that cuts out, or supposedly it looked like on my map, that cuts out for people to run across. But maybe that's the trail where I parked the car. I don't know. Again, are you getting that sense of just the quietness, the peace? Huh. Such a contrast between the newer houses and like the older parts. So we're going up a little bit. We're going to Bar Road now. And as I said, this is clearly, to me, this appears to be the newer development. Because, well, you can just tell, right? You can tell the newer construction. Anywho, still continues to be a beautiful day, don't you guys think? Now, if you're a walker or a biker, you can pretty much get like everywhere without driving. Oops, not Diana, I'm gonna go down one more. So I'm gonna start working on my French. I think this means stop. Well, there's Minister Island directly in front of us, and I think the water's too high. Yep, thinking the water's too high. So, rule number one to my fellow tourists: check when it's high tide, because the water's in right now. I can see the road, but the water's in the way. But you know what? It's okay. At least I don't feel like an a-hole, if you will, or a mule, because more cars keep coming in. I'll try to get you closer to the island. I know nothing about the history of it. I simply know that when I stayed here last year, there was a brochure that said, "Visit Minister's Island." And they made it seem like you saw these like happy faces, and it seemed like that was the place to be. I did not take into account that it was like France, and there are certain places, or actually like England as well, and Jersey, when I visited Jersey, that you have to take the tide into account. So that must kind of suck if you think about it. Like, if you actually live on the island, you have to time when you go to the store. Or, you know, if you're going out for the night, you might be staying out. Now, though, if you have a kayak or a boat, canoe of some sort, it's a good spot to put in. You know what my number one question is? As we walk closer to the island, is how many people on their GPS, you know, followed the GPS and said, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I can keep going. You know someone's done it. I mean, it looks pretty shallow right here. So close, but so far. Well, if any of you watching have been to Minister's Island and know anything about it, please put in the comments. Is it worth going to? You know, these signs are very... This is an interesting collage of signs right here. We got the dog poop bag. We have the high tides, swift currents, do not cross if there is water on the bar. Obviously, you would think, but clearly they had to put that there because someone's an idiot. No fireworks. I can see why this would be a firework hotspot, to be honest. Yeah, makes sense. You know what they don't have, though? They don't say anything about not camping. So here's some fun facts. Again, as I show you the view in the background. So this bay, good old the Passamaquoddy Bay, the water levels can rise up to 24 feet. And the bar that we pointed out that I wanted to drive across that goes to Minister's Island can be under 16 feet of water, and you can only really get to the island 5 hours out of the day during low tide. But you got to be careful because you don't want to drive in the softer sandy parts. And if they did say if you return to find the bar still in water, you're gonna have to wait probably 6 hours. So that's cue for us to leave. Yeah. Still a really beautiful spot. We're out front of the Macklem House, which is a antique place. Again, I've seen this. I've driven by this now a couple times, and I was like, I have to go in. I have to actually check it out. I love animals and different antiquing stuff. Animals are not necessarily antiquing. I got it, but I just want to take a look. So let's see what they have. See all the plates. It's cool. It's cool. Got all the dog bone stuff in this picture right here. Cute little, I think those are cocker spaniels. This really reminds me of like growing up in the 80s. It's cute. All the Zippos. Do you see the ER one right there? That's for, I think, Queen Elizabeth. This says the Royal Engineers. Look at this nice typewriter right here. There we go. Look at this. The Royal Chore, 1959. So this is something that I would buy right here. This desk. Or maybe this one. That would help me focus right at school. Now here's something quintessential collectors. Look at this. I don't even think they make these plates anymore. I remember all of these drivers. Here we go. The milk bottles. Other beverages, other drinks. It's pretty cool. The thing is, though, I don't want to buy anything because then I have more stuff to bring to Maryland. Well, I didn't see any wedding dresses, but I did find some wedding photos in this beautiful view looking out on the bay. Oh, no, sorry, the St. Croix River. So again, we have our cannons to deal with those privateers. And I actually showed these once in a previous video. I think it was reasons why that Poland's better than the United States. You should check it out. I'll put the link right here. But and I was explaining how these guns will actually rotate, or yeah, they'll rotate I mean, not like 360, but they'll give you more range of motion, if you will. But let's get out of the way of this powder house of these photos, so we're not totally rude, although technically it is a park. So here's the old fort right there. And where we started, the beginning of this video, you can see the pier, and then way back behind it is the lighthouse we went to too. And then the reason why we actually stopped, aside to interrupt some wedding photos, is there's a tea house right here called Nigel's Tea House, and I was always interested about it. So my last time here, when I walked by, and I was like, should check it out. Scratch that idea. They're closed. It's only 3 o'clock. That's weird, but it is what it is. All right, so take two. Take two. I know where we can go. Don't you worry. On a side note, if it's a weekend, and it's usually when these coastal towns are busier, should you be closing at 3 o'clock on a Saturday? Just saying. All right, Nigels, maybe we'll hit you some other time. Real quick before we go, with this beautiful blockhouse next to us and the cannons over there, they built this during the War of 1812 because they were preparing for an attack from the United States. It never happened, but they prepared for it. Well, I decided to park back at the place where I'm staying because I was just looping around the streets and I couldn't find a good space to be, honestly. It's too bad. But, and I think I could park on, like, the side streets, like this, but I'm just afraid, well, it's not that I'm afraid, but, it's all these places close at 3. Really interesting. Huh. All right, well, we are going to a place that I do not think is closed. I drove by, for a little afternoon snack. For my fellow church fans, there are plenty of churches here in the town, as you might have noted from our previous walk, but they don't like to be, they're locked up on these days, except on the days of worship. It's very sad. Very sad. We'll try this one, though, because why not? Now, this is the All Saints Church. This is the Anglican Church, I think, here in town, I believe. There is a Church of Canada. Here it is. Here's your view. Would not be a proper city tour without looking at a church. I think they knew I was coming, and they are closed. Services, though, are here on Sunday, 8 and 11, but we are going to be in St. John's then. Look how cute this shop is. It's called the Scrooge and Marley's Fresh Fudge, and it's right next to the Kit and Caboodle. Right there, Kit and Caboodle. And we're going to jaywalk because we're really good at that. And I hope this is the right place. We'll find out momentarily. Good old honey beans. So here we go. Please be the right place. All right, I was wrong. Where I went last time was the McGuire's. So we're back at McGuire's for their signature chocolate ice cream on a waffle cone, which is absolutely delicious. I had to get it a second time.
All right.
And it's my snack. Oh, it is good. It is. We have found the other part of the Van Horn Trail. That same trail that we had noticed over at the cemetery. I am almost to the water view that I needed to show you to kind of tie up our day here in St. Andrews. After my ice cream, took a little rest, and then I went and got some dinner. I really wanted to show you dinner. Well, actually, I can show you the dinner, but yeah, it was kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. So it was a mixed bag for a few reasons. One, I really didn't want to pay like $40 for dinner. But like when you start walking around, unless you're going to go get some of the pizza, you're still going to be paying quite a bit. So the place I ended up settling on, I'd been there before, and it was mediocre at that time. And yeah, it just wasn't the best meal or dining environment at that time. But I figured, I give it a second shot, because that's what you do. You always give a place 2 chances. So my server, the bartender, Mr. Jonathan, he was great. The lemon pepper clam strips, not a very good combination. You let the clam speak for itself. Lemon pepper was not a very good idea. And they didn't say that. They just said you're getting clams. Actually, they said clams, and they brought out clam strips. So that was a flag. And then the other issue, my mussels, some of them were cold. I'm like, what the hell happened with those? The ones that were warm and still in like the wine cream sauce, those were good. And they didn't really drown it with garlic, so I was happy. They basically just did cream and wine. But overall, mixed meal. It is what it is. Here's your view, guys. Back on the Passamaquoddy. Look how the water has gone out. You see how far it's already gone out? These extreme tides. We came over here because last time I was here at this time of day, my deer were right here. I don't know where they are right now. I saw one when we were on our way to the tea house, but I was driving, so couldn't really film it. But just one. And not to be left out, I did look up for us. So like over in the island that we wanted to go and check out, it's literally like a 3-hour window. You pretty much have to get there right at the time that the tide has opened up. You have 3 hours to like drive around and look, and then they say you have to be gone by this time. So like tonight it's like from 5 until like 8 p.m. something like that. And then like because the tides switch every 12 hours, it's like on Monday morning it's like 8 in the morning until 11. So you got to plan for that. You got to plan for it. Look at that. Look how the camera is focusing on such a view, when what I wanted to show you was something completely different. Oh, not me. Not me. But you can see Eastport from here. And I did a video a few weeks ago, actually about a month ago, from Eastport. So let me show you how close it is. It's right there. Right there. I don't know if you... I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's like a stack. It's not a stack, like a silo. But it's really a water tower, I believe. Anyway, to the to the left of the field that you see with the lonely tree right over there, Eastport's like directly that way. If we hopped on a boat, I'm pretty sure that's Eastport. Like 98% sure. I'm also pretty sure that if we went back to the island right now, we could probably drive across, I think. So while I go venture off towards the lighthouse, to brighter pastures, if you will, I will bid you adieu for now. We'll pick up things soon. Thanks for touring with me again here in St. Andrews by the Sea. It really is a beautiful town. You should stop off on your way here, on your way to other parts of New Brunswick. And now, I am not rambling. I forgot to add one thing. If you're coming from the States, things are not as cheap as you think. The hotels are a little bit less. They're like because of the currency difference, but food is going to be pretty much the same, if not more expensive. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And now I'll take you out with the view. Ciao, guys. Till next time. Peace. Hey, if you're still here, still watching, look who I found. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a deer. I found one. No herd, but I found one. Hey, buddy. Oh, that's a start. All right, guys. Ciao.